Hola, bienvenidos. Uh, Here with track número 33. Let's go ahead and begin.
Adjectives will exclusively go with estar. Some adjectives will exclusively go with ser. Some adjectives can go with either ser or estar and change their meaning, like aburrido, meaning bored as a state, or boring as a characteristic, just changing depending on whether it goes with ser or estar. Another example of a word like this is listo. Listo.
Listo.
Now, listo, when it comes
I've heard of listo, and I believe it is ready.
with estar, means ready. So, how would you say I am ready?
Estoy listo.
Estoy listo. Or lista, in my case.
Estoy lista or listo. How would you say we are ready?
Estamos listos.
Estamos listos.
Good. And what if we were a female group?
Estamos listas.
Estamos listas. And what if we wanted to emphasize
Still
we are ready?
Nosotros.
No.
We are ready. She went for somos that said, we are ready. Is that a characteristic or is that a state? I would say that is a state. So estamos. Nosotros estamos listos.
You make it a characteristic and it's more emphatic. This is
Nosotros.
It's a very interesting idea.
It's what you said when I go to class. So it's nosotros estamos listas.
There's a contradiction there.
Nosotras estamos listas.
Yes, all female group, nosotras estamos listas, or male or mixed group, nosotros estamos listos. So, to be listo, to be ready as a characteristic, means to be smart in Spanish. So, this is one of the words that we can use with ser or estar, and the meaning changes. So, estoy listo, I am ready. Soy listo, I'm smart. So, if you want to say he is smart, how would you say it?
Es listo.
Es listo, she is smart.
Es lista.
Good. You are smart, speaking informally to a woman.
Eres lista.
If you forgot the you are, you can think of where are you from. That might help you trigger it. De donde?
¿De dónde eres?
Eres lista.
Good. You are very smart.
Eres muy lista.
Good.
Eres muy lista.
The word for so, like I'm so bored or I'm so tired, is tan. T-A-N. Tan.
Tan.
So how would you say I'm
I already like that one. Tan.
so tired?
Oh. Tired is a state, so estoy tan cansado. Estoy tan cansado. I like that.
Estoy tan cansado.
I like, here we go. I like words that, I learn that take up that filler in sentences. So, tan, because, was. I like those filler words because they help put things together.
Cansada.
Good. Estoy tan cansado. Estoy tan cansada. Good. How would you say I am so bored?
Aburrido. I am so bored. Estoy tan aburrido.
Estoy tan aburrida.
Good. Estoy
Tan aburrido.
tan aburrido, aburrida. How would you say he is so bored?
He is so bored. That's still a state. So, está tan aburrido.
Él está tan aburrido.
Good. Está tan aburrido.
Está
O
tan
él está
aburrido.
tan aburrido. Now, how would you say it is so boring? It is so boring. So boring, not bored.
It is es tan aburrido.
Boring.
Es tan aburrido.
Good. Es tan aburrido. The word for good in
Es tan aburrido.
Spanish is bueno.
Can kind of get confused with están aburrido. They are bored. Están aburrido. He is bored.
We've mentioned this before. We have in English bon appetit.
Hold on, taking that
This
back
is
a moment.
good, odd,
'Cause
boring.
interested in the word that he's bringing up here.
Es tan aburrido.
Good. Es tan aburrido. The word for good in Spanish is bueno.
Bueno.
We've mentioned this before. We have in
Bueno.
English bon appetit, which is of course French, but we say it
So
in English.
bueno.
And you can see the O of bon appetit splitting to become bueno in Spanish. Now the meaning of bueno changes as well between ser and the star. If you're talking about it is, the change
So, listo changes between ser and estar, and noun. Bueno changes.
is a kind of change in feeling. Es bueno, está bueno. A small change in feeling which really depends on dialect. So we won't look at it too much here. You will just listen. But if you refer to people, in most dialects, if we use ser, we get the meaning of to be a good person or to be good at something. So if you want to say they are good, and you mean they are good people or that they're good at something, how would you say it?
They are good
So-
people. They are good at something. Son bueno. Son bueno. Algo. Son bueno.
Son buenos.
Son buenos. He is
Buenos.
good.
Es bueno.
Es bueno. Now, if you use a star, it will sound like he's attractive. He's in good form. So bueno with a star, if we're talking about people, then gives you this meaning. So how would you say that? He is good, meaning
Hey. No. Está bueno. Está bueno. Versus es bueno.
meaning attractive, in good form.
Está bueno.
Está bueno. So you see that you can have many different changes in shade of meaning
It most certainly brings a lot of complexity.
between ser and the star. So other than the fact that we are being permitted and obliged to perceive and express the world in a certain way by Spanish, which is very interesting in itself, we also get the opportunity to use these different nuances between ser and the star. And when you really get your head around it, which is just through listening and observing and seeing how people are using it, you will probably feel that it's missing in English. That sometimes in English you might want to clarify, not estar but es. And you can't do it. So you realize that Spanish gives you a tool to relate to reality that in this case, English doesn't give you. And this is one of the most fascinating and exciting things about language learning, not an obstacle to speaking the language. We don't want to see it like this. Oh, every time I have to think about this characteristic or state business. No, we want to look at it from the other angle, about what it offers us. How would you say?
That is good advice to look at, like he mentioned, what it offers you when learning the language, a way to differentiate and be precise when expressing your view versus English. You would have to take a step back and re-say it, emphasize what it is you said, etc.
How he is. And we mean, I want to know, how is he doing?
Quiero saber cómo es.
How is he doing?
I said,
Oh, cómo está.
Good. Quiero saber cómo está.
¿Cómo está? How he is.
Now, what would it mean? Quiero saber cómo es. What would that mean?
Quiero saber cómo es. I want to know how he is. How he is, meaning like his state, like a health condition or something.
How he is, what he's like.
Exactly. I want to know what he's like. Good. Another adjective you can use with ser or estar is feliz. What do you think feliz might mean?
Happy. Feliz Navidad.
Happy.
And how do you know that?
Feliz Navidad.
Oh, okay. Happy Christmas. Feliz Navidad. But is there some connection in English that might have helped you as well?
Feliz.
Did you hear felicity in English?
Felicity.
How would felicity be in Spanish?
Felicity. Felicidad. I've never heard that word in English. Felicity.
Felicidad.
Felicidad, which means happiness. Happiness. So, feliz, happy. So, feliz can also go with ser or estar
Feliz.
to give the meaning of I'm happy or I'm a happy person. So, we don't need to say I'm a happy person, we can just use ser. So like I said, there's no real way for you to know that other than listening. If you wanted to play safe and say, literally, I'm a happy person, it would not be at all incorrect. So, firstly, how do you say I am happy as a state?
Happy as a state. Estoy feliz.
Estoy feliz.
Estoy feliz. Now, I'm happy, and you mean as a characteristic.
Soy feliz.
Soy feliz. So this is fine, you can do this. But there's no real way for you to know whether feliz is an adjective that's flexible enough to be used with ser and estar. It really depends on the adjective itself, the word itself, rather than the meaning in many cases. So with that insecurity and wanting to give the meaning, you could have just said, I am a happy person, and then you don't have to worry about it. So how would you say that?
Don't have to worry about it. I am a happy person, which makes it a characteristic. So that would be soy una persona feliz. Soy una persona feliz. I am a happy person.
Una feliz.
Good. Soy una persona feliz. And that's also perfect Spanish. So there you could have said soy feliz or soy una persona feliz. So to really get that,
Soy feliz. Hmm. Well, that's a hack there. Don't quite fully understand it too much, but that is a way to be able to use the soy and feliz.
Heads around ser and the star, it's important to
I have to say I've learned a
listen
lot about
actively
these two
and to notice and
verbs
see how
through these last
people
couple
are
of
using
tracks.
ser and the star and making our own conclusions as to why, working with this base of state and characteristic. It's a process of listening, and the more you get intimate with this idea, it offers you a great range of expression that you don't have in English, and you should really enjoy it.
Okay, that is the end of track número 33. Like I mentioned, learned a lot about ser and estar. It's a bit tricky, I guess, with some adjectives, like you had mentioned. Yeah, so wrap that one up. Moving on to the next one. So, adios, amigos.